The treasure we stole from the dragon's hoard has some kind of tracking spell. I'd hate to be caught with any of it.
Paladin that donated their cut to an orphanage.
You saw your quarry run into the tavern.
We followed them in.
Roll me some perception checks. All fail. You have lost sight of them.
Wait! I have a solution for this. They've probably used invisibility on themselves. I upcast Glitter Bomb as a 6th level spell. There's no way they can hide from that.
Everyone else in the tavern.
Forbidden to play Dungeons and Dragons with the squirrels. Necrobotany is such a cool idea, like druidic nature magic plus necromancy. Undead skeletons being supported by plant fibers to make up for missing muscles and ligaments so they can run instead of shamble. Turning said skeletons into multi-limbed monstrosities with vine arms. Or piecing together bones and limbs with vines to make fleshier monsters. Adding thorns or huge Venus flytraps or poison onto minions. Undead exploding into petals and leaves like a smokescreen. Or infecting opponents with disease from pollen. Suffocating opponents from the stench of rotten minions, and corpse flowers.
Hey, that whole praying for our enemies thing, can I do that with you?
What? Really? Heck yeah, you want to do it right now?
Actually, yeah, I even have a prayer I've been working on.
Go for it.
Oh, Lady Tamora, please bestow upon our enemies good fortune and wealth, so that we may recover sweet loot after we kill them, and...
The reason there's no sequel to Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is not that the movie failed to impress at the box office. The cast liked making the first film, they all said they want to return for a sequel, but each time they agree upon a date, someone ends up canceling at the last minute. With all the dragons, griffins, pegasus, manticores, and wyverns flying around D&D, the probability of being pooped on during an adventure feels like it should be on a random encounter table. The Princess Bride is exactly what a D&D campaign would look like as a movie. Like, the delightfully weird cast of characters with their own quirks, the strange pacing and narrative that still works, the absolute absurdity of it all, the jumping back and forth between wanting to be serious and it being really funny. It's even told like a D&D story through the use of the grandfather being the one telling the story. What a fantastic movie. Also, like the character backstories are such D&D backgrounds, like, I'm out for revenge for my father who was killed by a guy with 6 fingers on one of his hands. I bumped into a band of pirates and their leader liked me so much he ended up having me take on his title to retire. That is the exact stuff that people come up with for D&D characters. Having narrowly escaped Humperdinck, you find yourself in the dangerous fire swamps. Do I know anything about this area? Any danger? Roll a history check. 15. You know of rumors of giant rats in the swamps as well as quicksand. What do I know about the giant rats? Roll nature. Nat 1. Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist. Hey, what's your passive perception?
You sneak into range to hear the hag's speech.
There is still food in your bowl. You aren't starving.
Don't forget to feed your blanket. You are paralyzed from the neck down. Your arch nemesis walks into the room brandishing a sword. Can I test for intimidation? You may. When the party is getting ready to fight Strahd and the cleric uses create food. Vampire Slayer, garlic cheddar. The DM, after killing the beloved NPC and then immediately putting us into a boss fight. This ride only stops in an emergency. Crying is not an emergency. Barbarian logic. When charisma fails, strength check. The DM's next encounter, waiting for the party to solve the 3rd grade riddle. Healer. Tank. Paladin class. Did you just take both pills? My role's out of combat. My role's during combat. This is my world, full of monsters, NPCs, and loot. What's that shadowy place over there? I haven't come up with that yet. Whomever convinced the mimic to look like my coffin, well played. Okay, the alligator attempts to grapple your face with its face. Roll me an opposed strength check.
Can he beat a 23?
No, so I guess it's your turn?
Yeet.
Did you say eat?
I said yeet.
Oh, I mean you won the grapples, so roll me a strength check for distance. Rolls a 20.
All of it.
Make a perception check for me.
DM messing with their players.
You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Now, paranoid players, DM.
DM playing the friendly NPCs.
Also the DM playing the monsters. When you try to make your PCs back off and rethink their strategy, but the warlock decides he wants to be a hero and you have to make a giant side quest to revive him. How to spot a polymorphed dragon. Player DMing for the first time. Old DM. Take it, Krunk. Oh, feel the power. Oh, I can feel it. When you're DMing and you have a whole cast of NPCs ready. Whatever it is my players are doing. The simple plot I planned. The greatest wizards always have spells named after them, like Melf's Acid Arrow, Mordenkainen's Faithful Watchdog, or Mr. Clean's Magic Eraser. Players can't ruin your campaign if you don't prepare one. When someone asks to borrow your player's handbook, but their fingers are covered in Cheeto dust. Rolling a d10 and it lands on a 0. Realizing that means 10.
DM improvising an NPC.
PCs. What's your name?
I've got a name, and it's a good name too.
Instead of rolling dice, buy a copious amount of Chinese fortune cookies. Every time you need to roll, read aloud your fortune and let your dungeon master decide what it means. Why don't we all introduce our characters? This is my human fighter, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. You guys are not gonna believe this. Well, I'd have to guess that either a wizard rolled a 20 or a bard rolled a 1.
Party. I think we're on the right path.
The DM describing the path.
I open the door.
What about the guard?
What about him?
Spellcasters hate this fact, but if you just stick your fingers in their mouth while they're casting a spell with a verbal component, it's literally more effective than a counterspell. This also works with pinning their hands against the wall when they're trying to use somnatic components. Basically, if you make out sloppy style while pressed against the wall, the spellcasters can't do anything. When the DM kills off your beloved character and you have to roll up a new one. Is this one better? I made this one with my tears. Planning an RPG session and trying to guess everything your players might do and what you'll have to be prepared for. Where are all the male hags in D&D? I want an old, salty grandpappy that rides a 1950s push mower which he refuses to replace. Don't touch the thermostat in the grandpappy hut. It's a mimic.
When you're trying to sleep, but your adventuring buddy just learned the dream spell.
What if I did a vicious mockery and based on how hurtful it is, you tell me what dice to roll? Sure, I'll allow it. You're none of your best friends' best friend. So what do I roll? He's dead. Oh great, everyone make a whiz save. Let's sell our loot before we go on. You're in a swamp. You left town days ago. Please? Fine, you find a shop. My party. Hostile animals. Is this a tameable pet? The barkeeper asked why we carried weapons on us in the bar. I said, mimics. The barkeeper left, the party left, the table left. We killed the table. It was a good time.
You enter a large cave. The orcs led you here. Now before you lies 3 paths. 1.
I jump into the water.
You can't keep jumping into the water. There is no water here.
Are there any clams?
Stop asking that.
I cast Detect Clan.
That's not a spell.
When I play tank, protecting my party is never on my mind. I just want to be the center of attention and laugh maliciously at the enemies as their pitiful attacks bounce uselessly off my mitigation. I do protect my party, but only because they can't help me win if they're dead and they'll praise me afterward for being a good tank. New class, Brat Tank. There is also a belt of hill giant strength if anyone wants to—
Tibbs! What? Y'all are already yoked. This would be a minor bump for either of you. This is a game changer for me. He has a point. I'm good with this if you are. Can't lie, I want to see him grapple. Proceed. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Gains!
Completing a dungeon in one session. Spending an hour IRL deciding whether or not to open a door.
Where does your magic come from?
The power of music. Faith in a higher power.
My ancestral bloodline.
It's all thanks to the books at my local library. The players discussing theories about how the campaign will end. The DM.